Well, yes, we're sinking our teeth into this topic of the army getting involved in elections. It seems to be causing quite a bit of controversy in recent times. In the last couple of days, we've seen a number of groups in different parts of the country going out to protest. Some say we need more security presence. Some others say, no, we do not want the army in particular to be involved in elections. According to them, there's been a judgment before now which says that the army has no role to play in elections. But what is the fear about deploying the military to elections? After all, we've been told over time and over again that they're not going to be involved in the elections proper. They're just there to safeguard the perimeters of the state. So what are people really, really afraid of? This morning, we have with us in the studio Mr. Teve Akase, who is the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Benue State. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much, Maokwe, and I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad that you're happy to be here. Tell us, give us a background. We did see a group of people there protesting, taking their protest to the governor of the state. Your governor saying that if the military is going to be involved in elections, they should play by the rules of the game. Are we to say, or can we safely say, that you have absolutely no fears of the military being deployed to Benue State?
No fears at all, Maokwe, but let me say this, that there is a thief saying, there is a thief term called tengi tengi. Tengi tengi means desperation. Now, the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Benue State has been engaging in a lot of tengi tengi lately. And what do I mean? They appear to be speaking for security agencies. You just heard the governorship candidate of the APC defending security agencies. And I wonder if that is his role. He is not a military commander. He has no role. He is a candidate like our candidate. He should be worried as well. But you heard him defending the action or the proposed deployment, heavy deployment of the military to Benue. Now, in Benue State, as we speak, there are two schools. One school says federal might. And that school, proponents of that school, are the APC. They believe that they have the central government. And when the chips are down, the government of Muhammadu Buhari will deploy hundreds of military men to Benue State to aid the APC to rig the elections. Now, I'm coming. That's what they call federal might. On the other side of the divide is a school called People's Might. And the People's Might, the proponents of this might, are Benue people. And Benue people are saying, look, you may have the federal might, but we have our might as the people of Benue State.
I get a little disturbed when people talk about the military aiding people to rig elections. I'm not going to pretend, to be naive, but sometimes, don't you think that we should give our military the benefit of the doubt and drag them less into the murky water of politics?
Maokwe, have you not wondered that for almost 10 months, Benue was immersed in killings, and the police high command, the president of this country, directed the former Inspector General of Police to relocate to Benue. He spent barely a day and moved to Nasarawa on his own. Now, there was no addition of any commissioner of police in all of that 2018. We never saw. We had one police commissioner. But as I speak with you, the police high command has deployed 9 commissioners of police to Benue State, to 9 local governments, to add to the one that is statutorily on ground. That's 10 commissioners of police. Now, is Benue at war? Why didn't they deploy commissioners of police to Benue State when our people were crying? Our people were being killed by armed herdsmen. These people didn't find it necessary to deploy commissioners of police to go and help their colleague in Benue. But now that it's elections, that Benue people must have the right to vote freely. You are deploying 9 commissioners of police to local governments to do what? This is why we suspect that there is an agenda to cage Benue voters. We suspect that there is a hidden motive behind this. And the motive is to help APC to rig elections. Look, there are 2 options that these people are playing with. One is to play the Ekiti card, militarize the polls, militarize polling units, and de-enfranchise Benue people. The second card is the Osun card, which is to declare Benue inconclusive, the elections inconclusive, and shift the elections to a separate date. And move in the arsenal of the federal government and the APC to make sure that Governor Ortom loses. And this is why Benue people are saying, look, we can't take this. You can't make Benue a military zone when the people needed help. You never brought it. But now you want to militarize Benue because you want Ortom to lose elections in Benue. And the people are saying they can't have it. That is why you saw that protest yesterday.
It is important that, you know, I say at this point that we invited Dr. Teheme Tazo, who is a DG of Senator Akume campaign organization, and is also the former speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly. We understand that he was here a moment ago, but
yes, I saw him. We met, we greeted, and I was expecting him to come to the studio.
We're not able to have him here, but I must point out that the APC in the state has said that the livestock guards, which caused some controversy some time ago, is being deployed for elections. I'm going to read out a part of a statement which they raised here. They said they've decried attacks on APC members on the day of the postponed elections, resulting in the death of one of their chairmen, Mr. Boniface Okleho. That's what they talk about. They say that there's a spread of arms by militia groups in the state, and they're calling on security operatives to beam their searchlight on members of the livestock guards and the state vigilante group to curtail their excesses. These are some of the things that they are pointing out. Is it possible that the state government is turning the livestock guard, which was brought up as a proposal or as a unit to try and calm things down with the farmers' herdsmen crisis, into a tool for elections?
Marco, you know why I'm laughing? The APC have clearly run out of ideas to push this propaganda. And it's obvious that they don't know where to move it forward, where next to move it. Now let me go to Ohimini. Let me go to Ohimini, where you made mention of the former chairman of APC in Ohimini who was killed. I'm going to that.
He died.
He was killed, and this was an internal matter. The APC, we understand they disagreed on issues of funds. And a group felt that, these are reports that we got. I am not saying it's authentic, because only police can confirm that. But what we heard was that some people were shortchanged, and they felt aggrieved and went after him. Members of APC. It had nothing to do with the PDP in Benue State. Now, the issue of livestock... It had
nothing to do with anger that the polls were shifted.
No, the APC themselves said it was an internal matter that they were investigating. These are facts on ground. Now back to the issue of livestock guards. The guards are statutory. They are established by the Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law of Benue State, 2017. And the guards do not carry arms. The Operation Wellstroke can confirm this. They meet them on the field. The police command in Benue can confirm this. The livestock guards members do not carry arms. Now, have you wondered that no member of the livestock guards has been arrested since they were established in 2017? They have not been arrested.
Their leader was arrested at some point.
Well, but that's a different thing. He was not arrested in connection with operations of livestock guards. But by the way, do you remember that he was not taken to court? He was arrested, detained for many months, and was freed. No charge fashioned against him. Where in the world have you heard that?
Why hasn't he?
You arrest somebody, you accuse him of committing crimes, you detain him, you free him, without telling the public what happened. What did you find out? I'm talking about Aminu Tashaku. Why didn't they arraign him? They never did. And they didn't tell Benue people what offense he committed. So that tells you that even if he did anything wrong, it was up to them to arraign him, let a competent court pronounce him guilty.
But even in the same vein, it's the same way the military also came to Benue State. I mean, you talked about the Inspector General of Police. It is very convenient to talk about the fact that he came and only spent one night and he left, which,
yes, he did.
you know, which we still haven't got an explanation.
We like to make reference to that.
But we don't know that the military has been doing Operation Cat Dance, or what did they do?
Cat race.
Is it that?
Ayema Patuma.
Exactly.
That was the first one.
And they've done a number of exercises in Benue State.
Yes.
You had absolutely no objections to that. So if both sides, because it would seem that now you seem to be a little uncomfortable for people to be asking that the military be deployed to Benue State. Meanwhile, they have been there all along. Why should they also be comfortable that you have this livestock guard and you cannot deploy it to some other use apart from what you actually intended it for?
Maokwe, the constitutional role of the military is security, not influencing the conduct of elections. The Constitution is very clear. You read it from page 1 to the last. You won't find where it is stated that the military should have a say in how a voter votes. There is no such provision.
But interestingly, it is the PDP.
There is no such provision.
You are now a member of the
now,
PDP.
Now, what we are saying is that...
Let me say this. It is the PDP that, you know, started running elections in 1999. It is under the PDP that we saw that the military started getting involved in elections. It is under the PDP that you talked about the Ekiti scenario, for instance. It was under the PDP that happened. So far, so good. Nobody has said that the president deployed. After all, elections were run just a number of days ago in Benue State. Nobody said that the president deployed military to come and help his own elections. Why are you scared that the president will now deploy the military to come and help an individual win elections, in governorship elections in his own state?
We are not scared. Do you remember when Muhammadu Buhari, the president, was elected? He came on the banner of change. And he said that all the wrongs that PDP did, by the way, the PDP has apologized. The party has apologized for whatever wrong they might have done. Now, President Buhari told the world that he was riding to Aso Rock on the banner of change, that whatever that was done wrongly, he will correct. So is the APC now saying that if the PDP, during the PDP's time in government, deployed military to polling units, it's a good example for them to copy?
You haven't quite answered my question. That's not the question I've asked you. The question I'm asking you is, there were elections on February 23rd, a couple of days ago. Isn't that right?
Correct.
Did the president deploy military to aid his own elections?
By the way, Marco, let me tell you that election was rigged in some places by APC.
Okay.
But the PDP, won 99% of the polls.
I understand that we have to take a break now. When we come back, we will interrogate a little further, some of the statements that Mr. Akase is making this morning. But please stay with us. Oh, yes, Mr. Teva Akase is still with us in the studio. He is the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Benue State. And we're talking about the fears that the government harbors, so to speak, with the request for the deployment of military personnel to Benue State for the governorship elections. Now, we don't know if the military is going to be deployed or whether that request has been granted, but there are fears that, they could be granted and could hamper free and fair elections in the state. But you were talking about elections being rigged, because I was just making the point that if the February 23rd elections did come, the presidential elections did come, where the president himself was running, and Benue State, was one of the states where he was predicted to lose. Not to do very well in that state. And he did not deploy the military to help rig elections. Why do you think that he's going to deploy the military to rig elections for anybody in the governorship elections?
The APC government at the center here has special interest in Benue. They have vowed that they must take Benue.
And the interest did not show or come through in the presidential elections?
More than 70 PDP members, including top government officials close to Governor Samuel Ortom, have been marked for arrest between today and tomorrow. Now, as I'm speaking here, if I leave this studio, don't be shocked if I'm picked. But that wouldn't matter. What matters to me is that Benue people are free on Saturday to vote.
I want
now, more than 70 people.
I want to believe you're just making the statements. You know,
we have this information, but let me tell you, on the day of the February 23 elections, the chief coalition officer, the state coalition officer of the PDP, Dr. Cletus Tioka, was arrested, taken away. The whole duration of that election, 3-4 days, no one knew. We felt maybe he was abducted, only to be released some days after without being charged to court, without any reason. Now, this was done to confuse the PDP in Benue State. As I speak with you, there are more than 70 PDP members on the list of arrest. And between now and tomorrow, this arrest will be...
These are allegations that have no basis.
Well, you are here, you will hear the stories.
Well,
this is done deliberately.
What if we do not hear the stories? What if this is...
But I just told you that the chief coalition officer of PDP was picked on the day of elections, and he is on the list again. They have framed... They said these people are found to be... to be involved in gun running. Gun running. Where were these people with these charges before now? Why are we hearing all of this now? Now, all this is targeted at Governor Samuel Ortom. The government of this federation feels that Governor Ortom must lose election on Saturday. They have a special interest in Benue State, and they have vowed that they must, if they can't win Benue, they will shift the elections to a different date. All is targeted at Governor Ortom. We don't know what he has done to the federal government, but as I told you, the might belongs to the people of Benue State. And they have said, you may have federal might, but we have the people's might, except you don't allow us to vote. If you allow us to vote, we will vote Governor Samuel Ortom on Saturday. And that's what Benue people are saying. So the only way these people, we get Benue is to stop the elections or arrest more than 70 members of PDP who are key in this election. Take them away and have APC, give APC a field day. Again, this is the plan.
I must say,
but we are saying that, look, you can't have a democracy run on sentiments, run on this kind of principles.
Is it possible for me to put in something? I think it's very important for me to state here that your allegation that 70 people are going to be arrested without any proof, you haven't provided any proof here.
Well, but they have started.
Just a moment. You haven't given any list here. I think it's very important to say that those are your opinions. But, you know, let us look forward. Let us hope that what you're saying is not true. Let us hope that the elections in Benue State will be free and fair and that people would not be intimidated, whether by livestock guards or whether by federal might, so to speak. You know, that the people's will at the end of the day will prevail. But there are certain questions to be asked. If APC bigwigs, so to speak, lost their elections in Benue State, why would the president want to deploy? Because right now it would seem that the fears is that, oh, please deploy. But we haven't heard that they're going to deploy.
What we have heard.
Have we heard that?
What we have heard is that Benue is on top of the list of states they want to take in 2019.
Why?
According to them, Governor Ortom embarrassed them. One, with a mass burial of 73 people last year. Two, by insisting that Benue people must be protected and that the Operation Ayema Patuma cat race was a gimmick, was just to trick Benue people, and that there must be a full operation, which we now have, Operation Wellstroke, reluctantly approved by the federal government. It was Governor Ortom and other Benue, few other Benue sons and daughters.
Can I ask you quickly, just quickly, have you had any casualties of any group of people dying during and after the elections, perhaps not as a result of the elections, perhaps as a result of other security matters within this election period?
Not really, because, you know, Benue people are politically very, very wise.
Okay. I don't know.
Our people feel that, look.
I can't lay my hand on that report now, but I do think I saw a report talking about, you know, lives being at stake in some communities.
The lives that we have lost.
Yes.
Before the elections,
during this election period,
armed herdsmen did not strike that much. Yes, they did a few in pockets of areas.
Yes.
But shortly after President Buhari was declared, armed herdsmen came back to Benue in full force. And in Gwe West, they killed 16 people in one day.
Well,
now, these are signals that, look,
sorry to interrupt
this
you,
government
Mr. Akase,
has special interest in Benue.
We're out of time. We have to go. I'm sorry.
No problem.
But some people will say that those are pointers to the fact that perhaps it's important that the military or security agencies be present, at least to safeguard lives and property. But we have to thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily. Tefe Akase is the Chief Press Secretary to the Benue State Governor. The program continues in a moment. Please stay with us.